2,000 subscribers! Woo! Oh God, they're not good for the lungs. Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Watson, and 2,000. That's crazy. I don't even think I can count that high. But no, I just want to say a massive thank you if you are subscribed to the channel and you have engaged with the videos and you left comments and you've liked the videos. It's really helped the channel, and it's helped me as well know what kind of videos to make, and yeah, so I really appreciate that. It's been amazing to hear how students have been benefiting from my videos. Students who I don't even teach and who don't even go to the school that I teach at, so you know, from across the country and in different parts of the world as well. And also to hear that teachers have been using some of my videos in lessons as well. It's brilliant, you know, and it's exactly what this channel was created for that purpose, and to help everybody really with studying English. So a massive thank you, and long may it continue. Now, just like last time with 1,000 subscribers, I did a Q&A, so I put it out on Instagram and asked the people who were following me on there to ask me some questions, which I'm going to answer now. By the way, if you're not following my social media, there are links in the description, so why don't you maybe go check them out and give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and I've also just started a TikTok, so yep, I'm everywhere. Anyway, let's get on with the questions. So the first question here is from Connor, and it's asking what the most inspirational quote is to me. And that's difficult because there are a lot of really, really good quotes. I would say one that's always stuck with me was one I heard years and years and years ago. Back when, for those of you who follow football, back when Craig Bellamy played for Manchester City, which is the team I support, and the City website did like a documentary kind of thing based on Craig Bellamy, and one of the main quote that it was built around, the main mantra that Bellamy said kind of kept him focused and kept him working hard, was the quote, "The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender." And you know, that's true, and I found that quite inspiring. You know, the more that you work towards something, towards a certain goal, the more committed you need to become, the more focused and motivated you need to be to see it through. So yeah, I would say that quote is probably up there. This next question comes from Jody, who asks, "Can you hit the whoa?" Well, I don't know. Can I? Caitlin asks, favourite class? Well, I think it's pretty obvious who my favourite class is. You know, but if you must know, then, you know, it's... Okay, Maddie says, bring back Punday. Smiley face. So, Maddie, that's not a question. So moving on, Mr. Thompson asks, and if you don't know who Mr. Thompson is, he's somebody who worked at DCC a few years ago. He asks, do you miss Mr. Thompson? Yes. Lots. Moving on. I'm kidding. Of course I do. I hope you're doing well, mate. Katie asks, have you always wanted to be an English teacher? I wouldn't say always. I think around the time I was at high school, I had in my head that I wanted to be a primary school teacher. That was something that kind of stuck with me until I went to college. And then when I went to college and I'd left high school, I kind of thought, well, actually, secondary school might not be a bad shout. And I also discovered that I'm absolutely shocking at maths, and obviously in a primary school you need to be able to teach everything. So obviously I was kind of at that point leaning towards English, and that was kind of my subject and my area, so I thought, you know what, why not, let's look into becoming a secondary school English teacher. And yeah, that's how it happened, I guess. Other things I wanted to be are things like, I don't know, when I was younger, I wanted to be like an actor, or you know, a musician, and kind of things like that, you know, kind of very theatrical and it's all to do with telling a story of some kind. That's always been really interesting to me. I really like stories, which again is why English fits me so well. And I think I bring some of that theatricalness and dramatic personality shall we say, to my teaching. I think some of the students who I've taught will say that. So yeah, there you go. Dystopia Junkie said, "Congrats, mate. Thank you very much. What's the most important thing you've learned over lockdown or over the last year?" Well, that's a great question. Obviously, the last year has been pretty crazy for a number of reasons. Unprecedented. It's just been mad. I think I've run out of words to describe it. I think the most important thing I've learned personally is just how important routine is for your mental health. So obviously going into lockdown the first time, routines were thrown out the window. You know, from my point of view as a teacher, I was obviously going into school, but it was only maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks. So, you know, the rest of the time, the rest of the days of the week, I was without a routine, and it was chaotic, you know, because my sleeping pattern went, you know, to pieces, and we weren't allowed to go out properly. We weren't allowed to socialize and things like that. And these are all obviously challenges that we're facing this time around as well in this third lockdown. But, you know, the consequences of not having that routine and not having that kind of familiarity and that day-to-day kind of structure in my life really made it difficult for me, and mentally as well. You know, I was feeling down, I was feeling, you know, confused. I was waking up not knowing what day it was and, you know, what I needed to do that day. Everything kind of is a big blur. And you know, it's similar in this lockdown now in a way that it is quite a blur, and the days do get muddled up every now and again. But what I've tried to do this time is, obviously I've learned from last time, and now I am trying to keep that routine as well as I can. And I would encourage other people in lockdown, especially students, to try and adopt the same kind of thing. So try and have a routine, you know, Monday to Friday. If you can try and stick to your school timetable maybe, you know, and do the work for the lessons that you've been set on that day, it'll really help you in terms of your mental health. That's something that I found, and it is really important, because, you know, yes, English is important, but looking after ourselves is the most important thing, and I don't think anybody would argue with that. Brinley asks, what made you want to make educational videos? I was really interested in animation. I loved it. I was obsessed with things like Wallace and Gromit. I'd always watch like the behind the scenes videos and clips of kind of Pixar movies and Disney movies, so I could see how they'd been made and, you know, the process behind it. I found it really interesting, and I still do. Really, I still do. I think it's such an amazing thing to create entire worlds and characters out of nothing. So I was very much into that, and so during that time I kind of played around a lot with video editing software and animation software, and obviously to go with those little silly films that I'd been making, I'd play around with music as well to give a bit of background music and things like that. So over the course of a few years, I built up quite a few skills in these areas. So obviously when I became a teacher, I was thinking, well, you know, what can I do to help some students who maybe are struggling a little bit, or, you know, can I make something that I can direct my own students towards to help them with their English, help them revise, help them study, and, you know, maybe try and understand something that they've not quite understood in class. And obviously I thought, well, you know, I've kind of got these skills. I kind of know how to do videos. I know how to, you know, do things with green screen and stuff like that. So why not have a go at putting some together and see what happens? And obviously 2,000 subscribers later, it's going all right at the minute. So yeah, that's kind of why it started. And again, I'm really glad that they're actually helping people as well, because like I said before, that was the whole reason behind starting the channel in the first place. Just like Mr. Watson Plays is set up just to entertain people, and if that's doing that, and judging by the feedback I'm getting it is, then brilliant, I'll keep doing it, you know? So yeah, very positive so far. Right, and to end on, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, all asking me the same thing. What does your tattoo mean? So, at the school where I work, this has become a bit of a running joke now, especially for the students who I teach specifically, because I have a tattoo on my arm, and every time people ask me what it means, I never tell them. Or if I do tell them, I'll tell them something completely random, so random that it isn't true. So if you've not seen it before, let's just roll this sleeve up. I don't even know if that's all in frame, but there you go. Okay. And I've always said, you know, there's been this massive kind of build up, and some people have been waiting, because I always say I'll tell you when you leave. I'll tell you when you leave school. You know, I'll tell you when you leave year 11, or you know, on your last day in year 11. And those people who remember have literally been, you know, waiting for this answer for like 2 years, 3 years. It's crazy that people just don't forget. And it's nothing bad. It's not like it's anything rude or anything like that. It's just I just like people trying to work it out because it's funny, and they're always so magnificently wrong. It's fantastic. But I do always say as well that when you do finally find out, it will be massively underwhelming for you because it's nothing mad. You know, it's nothing extraordinary or anything like that. So instead of actually telling you what it actually means, I'll just give you a couple of clues, okay, to see if you can go off. And if you want to have a guess, stick it in the comments below, and I promise, tell you if you get it right. Okay, if you get it right and you put it in the comments of this video, I will tell you that it's right. Okay, if you have a guess and put it in the comments and it's wrong, I'll also tell you that it's wrong. But just if you want to have a few guesses, stick them in the comments below. Okay, so here's the first clue. All right, so the language that it's written in here, okay, it's called Tengwa, and it's a fictional language that was created by Tolkien, who was the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And when he was writing those stories, he created this whole mythology behind it. He created these huge kind of backstories and myths and languages. His actual job was to study languages, and kind of how they evolve and what makes them work. That was his real life job. So he created his own languages for his fictional universe of Middle-earth in The Lord of the Rings. So this is in that language. And I got that idea from Sergio Aguero, who you may have noticed has a tattoo in that language on his forearm as well, as does Fernando Torres. So yeah, I just think it's pretty cool. So that's one aspect of it. Obviously, I suppose you could say that's the English aspect of it. So that's your first clue if you want to look into that language a little bit. And the second clue is to do with something else that I'm very, very passionate about that isn't English. Okay, so it's yeah, and you know, you'll know what it is. You'll know what it is because we've had conversations about it before. A lot of the students who I've taught. So see if you can work it out. But it's related to something else that I'm very passionate about. So again, have a think, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbours, talk to your pet goldfish, and throw some ideas around to see what you can come up with. And stick your ideas in the comment section below, and I will have a read through, and I will laugh hysterically at the failed attempts. And yeah, I'll be very surprised if anybody gets it. And obviously, if I have told you what it means, don't comment, because I will just delete your comment because spoilers. Okay, if I've actually told you, so if you've left school and you're thinking, oh, I know this, I'm gonna be dead clever and put it, no, don't, I'll delete it. That's a warning for you, right? Shh, let other people try and work it out. But on that note, thank you very much again for your support on the channel. I really appreciate it. And of course, if you want to see me where I'm a little bit more silly and much more daft, then hop on over to Mr. Watson Plays, which is my gaming channel, and subscribe there as well. So the goal over there is to try and get to 1,000 subscribers. Currently we're on like 410-ish, I think. So yeah, hop on over and subscribe, and I'd really appreciate that as well. Massive thank you. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now. Nope. They're going in the bin.